My boss tried to ruin my marriage because he was in love with my wife, so I burned his entire life down. My boss fell in love with my wife and tried to destroy my marriage and career so he could replace me. We tricked him into confessing. Everything via a fake email trap, exposed him to corporate, got him fired and blacklisted from our industry, and are now living our best lives. Hi Reddit. Longtime lurker, first-time poster. I never thought I'd be the main character in one of those twisted betrayal revenge stories, but here I am. I've changed names and some identifying details, but everything else is true. This happened a few years ago, but the fallout is still going. Strap in, this one's long and gets wild. In 2019, life was good. I, 33 at the time, had a solid job at a mid-sized engineering consultancy in Denver. I'd been there 8 years, worked my way up from junior analyst to project lead. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well. I had a good team, and best of all, it allowed me to work reasonable hours. My wife, Jessica, 31F, was, and is, amazing. We'd been married for 4 years, together for 6. She's sharp, kind, gorgeous, funny, and way out of my league in every way that matters. She runs a small but successful interior design studio. We don't have kids yet, but we talked about starting a family soon. We were comfortable, happy, and planning to buy our first home. Enter Ethan. Ethan was my new boss. Ethan, 40M, was brought in as the new regional director. On paper, he looked great. Harvard MBA, killer resume, and big energy. He came in like a storm, fast-talking, charming, intense. He immediately started reorganizing things, nothing unusual, and I ended up reporting directly to him. At first, I liked him. He was demanding but seemed to respect hard work. Then he started asking about Jessica. Oh, you're married? What does she do? Interior design, huh? She must have a great eye. You got pictures? It felt casual at first, but he kept bringing her up. One time we were working late, and he asked, what's it like going home to someone that beautiful every night? I laughed it off awkwardly, but I remember thinking, okay, weird compliment, man. It got weirder. A few months in, Ethan invited our whole team to a networking dinner at a nice downtown restaurant. Spouses were welcome. Jessica came. She showed up in a simple black dress, looked stunning as always, and was polite and friendly. Not overly talkative, just pleasant. She even brought a small plant as a thank you gift, which Ethan found adorable. That night, I noticed Ethan watching her a little too long. His smile lingered. His compliments veered into flirty territory. Jessica noticed too. On the drive home, she said, your boss gives off major creeper energy. I brushed it off. He's just intense, I said. She shook her head. He's intense about me. I should have listened to her. After that dinner, Ethan ramped up his interest in Jessica. Every conversation somehow circled back to her. How's your wife doing? She's got great taste. Does she pick your clothes? You think she'd want to redesign my condo? He even emailed her once, through my company address, asking for her professional opinion on feng shui in a bachelor space. Jessica showed me the message, asking, is this normal? It wasn't. I told Ethan not to reach out to my wife directly again. He played innocent, said, I just respect her eye. Don't be so territorial. That's when things at work started to shift. Suddenly, my projects were being reevaluated. Budgets were cut. Ethan began criticizing me in meetings, claiming I was distracted, underperforming, or not leadership material. He reassigned one of my projects, a big municipal contract I'd led from day one, to a junior guy with no experience. When I protested, he said, don't take it personally. I need team players, not egos. Then he started scheduling mandatory status check-ins during hours he knew I had personal obligations, like Jessica's gallery opening or our mortgage meetings. When I missed one of those last-minute Friday night meetings, he documented it as uncooperative behavior. Jessica said, he's trying to sabotage you. She was right. I just didn't realize how far he'd go. Then came the text. Jessica got it on a Tuesday night around 11:30 p.m. It was from a number she didn't recognize. It said, if you ever want a man who sees what you're worth, who really sees you, you know where to find me. No name, just that. But the tone? We both knew it was Ethan. We traced the number. It was a burner. She blocked it immediately. I confronted him the next day. Straight up asked, did you text my wife last night? He smirked. What are you accusing me of? I told him to stay away from her. He said, maybe you should be more focused on keeping her happy. That's when I knew this man was trying to destroy my marriage. We went into protection mode. Jessica changed her number. We stopped posting on social media. I started documenting everything. Every weird comment. Every strange project reassignment. Every passive-aggressive email. That's when a coworker, let's call her Nina, pulled me aside. Nina said she overheard Ethan talking to another director about me. He was calling me unstable, paranoid, and emotionally compromised. He even said my marriage was on the rocks and hinted that Jessica had reached out to him. That was a lie, but it confirmed something huge. Ethan wasn't just obsessed. He was actively trying to break us up. So we flipped the script. Jessica emailed Ethan from a brand new account with a slight variation of her name. She pretended she was reconsidering everything, said things had been difficult with me lately, that she felt seen by him, that she'd like to talk, but only if it was discreet. Ethan bit immediately. He replied in minutes, I knew you felt it too. You deserve more than someone who takes you for granted. He attached a photo, a shirtless selfie. And I kid you not, he added, your secret is safe with me, Angel. Jessica kept playing along. Over the course of 2 weeks, Ethan confessed everything. How he'd fallen for her during the dinner. How he believed I didn't deserve her. How he was manipulating me at work to make her see the truth. He even forwarded a private HR complaint he'd filed, falsely accusing me of hostile behavior, to show he had leverage. We saved every email, every photo, every document. Then we took it to the board. Ethan didn't see it coming. I scheduled a private meeting with the CEO, the head of HR, and legal. I presented the entire digital folder, including the burner phone number connection, the fake email correspondence, and screenshots of him admitting to undermining me professionally to isolate me from my wife. I also brought Nina, who corroborated the gossip campaign. They were stunned. By the end of the week, Ethan was suspended pending investigation. He sent Jessica one last desperate email from a different burner, begging her to explain what happened. She never replied. 3 weeks later, the company announced Ethan had resigned to pursue other opportunities. Internally, everyone knew he'd been fired for cause. But I wasn't done. I knew from Jessica's fake conversations with him that Ethan had been violating NDA terms, bragging to her about company secrets, slipping her inside info to look impressive. I turned those over to legal. He got slapped with a lawsuit for breach of contract and a professional conduct violation that wrecked his standing in the industry. Last I heard, he's working at some tiny logistics firm in Utah, nowhere near the salary or title he once had. His LinkedIn went dark. His name is poison in our field. I stayed at the company for another year, got promoted, then left on my own terms. Jessica and I, we bought that house. She's pregnant now, due in November. We named our dog Ethan because we thought it'd be funny. Karma's a beautiful thing.